Today, we're talking about something, a hidden trap, really, that I think it's all of us. It's that feeling you get where you think you understand something, but you've really just scratched the surface. It's got a name, the illusion of knowledge. And, just being able to see it, that's the first real step towards wisdom. So, let me ask you something. Ever feel like you're talking to a total know-it-all? You know the type, right? They have an answer for everything. They are just so certain. I think we've all been there. Okay, now for the tough part. Let's flip that question. And be honest. Have you ever been that person? I mean, really think about it. That moment where you're so sure you're right, you just shut down. You stop listening. It's kind of humbling to think about, isn't it? And this whole idea, it really brings us back to something the philosopher Socrates said ages ago. The only true wisdom is in knowing that you know nothing. It sounds like a total paradox, right? Especially now. I mean, we're swimming in information. It's everywhere. So it's never been easier to think we know everything. All right, so where does this illusion even come from? If we want to get past it, we've got to understand how our own brains can get tricked, how they can mistake a tiny little spark of information for the real deal, for actual knowledge. So here it is, the illusion of knowledge. It's basically that false sense of expertise you get from just skimming the surface. You read a headline, you see a meme, you hear a quick soundbite, and bam, your brain kind of goes, got it. I'm an expert now. It's a really clever trick our minds play on us. And this, right here, this is the heart of the matter. On one side, you've got information. Think headlines, memes, opinions, little sound bites. It's easy, it's passive, you just absorb it. But then, on the other side, you've got knowledge. And man, that takes work. That's built from context, from digging into the evidence, from understanding all the nuance. One is like wading in a puddle. The other is like deep-sea diving. Let's take a big example, something like a public health crisis. It seemed like everyone had a theory, right? A really strong belief. But here's the thing, our opinions, no matter how strongly we feel them, they don't change the facts on the ground. The key takeaway is that when our personal beliefs go head-to-head with a consensus from experts, that consensus is usually what's reflecting reality. And this is exactly how misinformation takes off too, when someone takes data and twists it to fit what they want to be true. But look, this isn't just some harmless mental quirk. This illusion, it has a cost. A big one. Believing we know it all, it comes at a price. This constant need to be certain, it ends up costing us our own personal growth, and it can really damage our relationships. So what's at the root of all this? Honestly, it's that we hate admitting, I don't know. It just feels weak, doesn't it? Our ego immediately jumps in to protect us. It makes us get all defensive the second anyone questions what we think we know. It could be a colleague or even a curious kid asking a really smart question. And you see this play out all the time when our own personal experience becomes like a shield. I'm sure you've heard this one. We were born into things like this, you're not going to change them. Right? It's that kind of thinking that just uses the past as a weapon to shut down any new ideas, any talk about a different future. And it happens everywhere, at work, and our families, in bigger conversations. And this is where it all leads. It's the ultimate cost. The second our ego steps in to defend what we think we know, our curiosity just stops. It dies. And when that's gone, so is our open-mindedness. So is our empathy. There's just no room left to grow. We're stuck, plain and simple.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what on earth is the solution? Well, the good news is the cure isn't some big, complicated secret. It's a mindset shift, and it's available to every single one of us. It all comes down to what we can call humble curiosity.
So there's a pretty clear path to get to real wisdom. It's like a 4-step process. First, you've got to embrace humility. Just admit, hey, I don't know everything. That one step opens the door for step 2, cultivating curiosity. You start asking questions, exploring new ideas. But as you explore, you've got to be selective. That's step 3. You choose high-quality sources, not just whoever's shouting the loudest. And that finally brings you to step 4. Trusting true experts, relying on the folks who've actually put in the work. See how each step just flows right into the next?
This also means we need to totally shift our goal. Think about it. So many of us are just looking for validation from other people, trying to win arguments. But the real work, that's all internal.
It's about letting go of that need to be right and focusing instead on building your own genuinely powerful ideas. The prize isn't getting a round of applause from strangers. It's achieving real, honest-to-goodness understanding for yourself.
When you get right down to it, we all have a choice to make. We can choose the fake life, acting like we know it all, getting into pointless arguments, and never really getting anywhere. Or we can choose the real life, the one where we actively choose to learn, to stay curious, and to actually grow. One is just an act, a performance. The other is a real journey.
So I want to leave you with a challenge, a question to carry with you. As you go through your day, just ask yourself this. What's one thing I'm totally certain about, that I'm willing to be wrong about? Seriously, finding an honest answer to that question, that's not weakness. That right there is the very first step toward real wisdom.